We are a weekly podcast in which we all get together after we've read all or part of a manga, and then we discuss it with friendship, love, and lots of spoilers. This week, it is Dodger's birthday pod.
Yeah.
Woo! Which means she got to select the manga that we are going to be discussing, which is Bremen, chapters 1 through 24, volumes 1 through 3. We were originally going to read up to chapter 27, then Lou pointed out that chapter 24 is a much better stopping point, and we concurred.
And it was perfect.
It was
so
absolutely perfect. I'm Erin of Happily Erin, your host, and with me are two of my three lovely co-hosts, and I'll have you guys introduce yourselves.
Hi guys, I'm Duger, and this is my birthday pod, and I'm so excited that I made everybody read Bremen.
I'm Lou from Lou Talks Anime, and I'm ready to rock out. What up?
Yeah.
What up? Awesome. I just realized I need to pull something up really quick. Hold on. Just give me 2 seconds. Okay. If you guys have never joined us for a manga pod before, what we like to do is give you a short spoiler-free description of the manga that we read, aka a summary, and then we will give you our spoiler-free recommendations, whether we think you should spend time going to read this manga or not. That way, when we get to spoiler section, you can take your leave and go read the manga and then come back and watch the VOD of this if you don't want to be spoiled. We ask that everybody in chat, both on YouTube and Twitch, to not post any spoilers in chat until we get to the spoiler section. If you post them before that, you'll be warned, timeout, and then banned. And also, please do not post fake spoilers or joke spoilers because we might not know the difference, and so all the negatives will happen to you either way, so just don't risk it, just don't be a rotten bacon butt. That's all we ask of you.
Bacon butt, y'all.
So let's go ahead and read the summary for this. It's short and sweet and not convoluted at all, like most of these tend to be.
Perfect.
So, okay. Reggie and Kasuga head out to Tokyo to become the gods of rock, but they seem to always attract trouble. On their way, Hayama Ryo and Fujiran join them in their quest. There it is.
Yeah.
Before we get into spoiler-free recommendations, I realized I forgot a very vital part of birthday pods, which is when the co-hosts sing off-key and out of sync.
But it's not my birthday yet.
But it's your birthday pod.
It's close enough.
Okay.
It
Your
counts.
birthday pod.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
You got Lou and the sick Aaron. So here you go. You ready? Okay.
Yes,
3,
I'm ready.
2, 1. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Dodger.
Happy birthday
to you.
Yay! Thank you.
We had like a
You're
nice
welcome.
melody going on.
I
know. It was really beautiful. It was perfect harmony, I thought.
I took the highs and Lou went low, and it was perfect.
Yeah.
And I'm sure only like 4 people's ears are bleeding. All right, let's do spoiler-free recommendations. Anybody like to go first?
I'll go first.
Go for it.
I enjoyed the hell out of this manga. For a manga that I've never heard of before, to really take me by surprise like this, with how much fun I had, it doesn't happen all that often. And Bremen did just that. The entire time I was reading it, I was laughing my ass off at the insane shenanigans that were going on. And honestly, like, I read it all in one sitting. And I read to the original stopping point, and I was like, nope, chapter 24, that's where we got to stop. And honestly, those 24, even the 3 chapters beyond that, all gold. Everybody go read this manga. It was great.
I concur. I was very surprised by this manga.
You thought I was gonna just lead you into a trap.
No, I was like, I didn't know what to expect because I couldn't remember what the summary was from last week. And so I didn't remember it was a birthday. I didn't remember that it was about rock and roll. But then I found out it was about rock and roll, but also rock and roll. Like, it was real. Like, I wasn't expecting anything that I got from this manga. But I couldn't stop reading it. And I thought that, like, some of it was so silly, but it worked so well, and I just couldn't. Like Liz said, I read it in almost one sitting because I didn't realize that I was already like almost done with the reading because it went so fast and the characters are just awesome and shit gets so crazy that I was just like, I can't stop reading because I want to know what happens. So I was very pleasantly surprised at how much I enjoyed it and the characters and everything.
Oh,
I liked
I'm so
it.
excited. I'm so glad that you both liked it. Yeah, I obviously recommend it. I wanted everybody to read it for my birthday pod. I read this originally when I was in high school, and I remembered loving it, and it was so fun to come back to it. And yeah, I think everybody should check out Bremen. It's fun.
It's really fun, and I literally did not know what it was. Like, for the longest time, I thought that you had selected that yaoi one you really want us to read.
Ramanika.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's what she did. And so when I read the summary last week, I was like, this isn't the one I thought that she picked. And so
maybe the yaoi's later.
Yaoi's later. I mean, you know what? That's spoiler section. That's the spoiler section. Sweet. Yeah, we all recommend going and checking it out for sure. It's good. You're gonna be, especially like if you're looking for an older style, in terms of art and humor. It's one that you'll want to check out. So let's jump in because I want to talk about the craziness that is this series. So, all right. 5. Oops, I forgot where we count down from. 4. 3. 2. 1. Rock and roll is God.
Rock God.
The God of rock.
Yeah.
I just thought rock and roll was. Just in general.
Rock and roll is true.
Just
God.
rock and roll.
True bae.
True. Best waifu. Rock and roll.
Yeah. Wait, we have to start with what were you guys expecting? Although Aaron didn't expect anything.
I was so confused the whole time. I was like, I don't, like, not in a what's happening in the story. It was just like, I didn't see this coming. Like, I didn't expect him to, like, kill people or there to be, like, a weird acid storyline with people actually getting their faces burned off, because I'm like, oh, okay, this is gonna be these two misfits who are gonna like make their dream and be big rock stars, and it was like gonna be really nice and fluffy, and then it just wasn't. And
I expected more Beck. Like
Beck,
that's what I went into this.
Slice of life.
I went into this expecting to get a story similar to Beck. This is nothing like fucking Beck.
No,
but it's still great. It's great in a different type of way.
I love how there was a lot of me, or no, we're still on expectations. I can talk about that later. But yeah, once I found out it was like a music, I was like, oh, it's gonna be very music. But they went like much more on the hardcore side of like forming a band that I don't think I've ever seen it in a store, like a manga or an anime before. Just like how they're approaching it. And the fact that they're being so over the top in terms of like the violence and the characters, without really explaining why certain stuff is the way that it is. So there's times where I was like, are they going to explain why Romeo's stupidly strong like a Super Saiyan? But they don't. And then as you read more, you just accept it because it's who he is. It's like, you don't need an explanation. It's Romeo. But, you know.
Yeah, I remember feeling exactly the same way, reading it and being like, who is this guy? We don't know anything about him. And then at a certain point being like, okay, it's Romeo. And obviously the story like progresses from here, but like for so long of it, you're just like, all right, this is my team. I'm going to roll with it.
Soggy Money in chat wants to know what the plot for this is. Because I agree, the summary on my anime list is not the strongest thing.
That's true. It's about a kid who plays guitar and loves music and wants to go on a trip to like become a musician and start a band. And he runs into this kid named Romeo who's just like, he's just this force. He's like this kid who's really strong and volatile and just kind of like, he's like the embodiment of rock and roll, which is what they constantly refer to him as. And so these two are both just kind of like, well, we're both heading to Tokyo, so I guess we'll go together. And then once they get to Tokyo, they meet all kinds of other characters and have goofy adventures that are all terribly dangerous and horrifying.
They're gonna form a band.
Yeah,
That's all. That's all. It's just
they're
about
gonna become the gods of rock.
Yeah, it's very pleasant. It's very nice. It's crazy. So should we talk about about characters? Should we just jump on the characters because it's such a character-driven story?
Sure. Yeah.
Romeo, what were you guys' feels when you first met him, and then how it ended? Like your guys' progression towards how you felt about Romeo over the course of what you were reading. He started out and I was like, oh, you're just that usual punk silly kid, and he reminded me a lot of the main character from Real. That's who he reminded me a lot of. And so he just kept, but like just the very silly, no serious side, just the silly side of that character. And I didn't expect to enjoy him as much as I did. I thought he was going to get a lot more annoying, but he just kept staying so ridiculous that it became endearing. And the way that he found more and more ways to hurt people made me just like want to know what he was going to do next. I was like, wow, you're really good with those coins. And then he like, the time he shot the coin at the cop car, I was like, what are you doing?
No. When he threw the manhole covers, that
manhole was cool. Yeah. The records during the so he still stays that character that's just inexplicably strong, and I'm gonna beat these guys up all on my own thug character, but he's just got that like super sweetness to him that he obviously cares about his friends, and that just makes him really fun.
I think one of the things that helps is that he has so many really good moments. Like, one of my favorite moments from what we read is when they go to the rock concert and Rooster. What's the Mohawk kid's name? Reiji. When Reiji is like, this is my dream. Like, I want to stand up there and like bring millions of people. Like, that's what I want. And Romeo has this overpowering feeling of like, I'm going to just stand up there and see what that feels like, right? He just disappears and just pushes his way to the front and stands on that stage and is like overwhelmed with this feeling and decides right then and there, like, yeah, let's do rock and roll. I love it. I love that that's like, that's what it took. It was him going on stage and being like, I want this dream too. Let's do this. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even though he doesn't play anything. Like, that's my favorite part.
Yeah.
He just
know
screams.
how to play any instruments. He just screams.
Yeah. Literally, it's just him. His audition was him screaming, and they're like, oh, wow, hey, you're actually quite good. And I was like, I was trying to decide. I knew that it was going to have to be that he was good, because otherwise this just wouldn't work. But I was also hoping a little bit for the flub that he was really bad. And that was just for the funny, and then he had to learn to be good. But I think the direction they went with is good. I love that he just screams.
Yeah, I think that it works because everybody just constantly talks about how he has this like incredible energy, and it's believable for me that somebody could like just scream alongside of really good music, and everybody would be like, I feel it. I feel that weird energy coming from you.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, he reminds me of kind of like a new metal version of Luffy.
Yes.
I think that is probably the most spot on description of him, because they have the same quirky and overpowered personalities. Mm-hmm. And at least from what I've read of One Piece, which is what we discussed on MangaPod. But still, Romeo is a great character in that he always finds interesting ways to entertain me. So yeah,
that's a good point, because he, like I said, he could have gotten annoying very quickly, because he's a very consistent character. Like, he does the same thing over and over, tends to get out of situations in the same way that he did before. but he's still so entertaining just because his character is so over the top and out there. When he does that, you look forward to seeing what he does next. Even though you know it's going to be the same kind of thing, the fact that he's the one doing it makes you excited to look forward to it and see what he does.
Garo in the chat is drawing parallels to Onizuka, and I totally see those parallels.
Oh yeah,
good on you, man.
Yeah. That's a much better connection than real, like the character in real. But yeah, I like that. His relationship with Rigi. I like that we got to see that start so early on.
Yeah.
And how I like the contrast between those two characters. Because Rigi especially is so much more grounded. And I also enjoy the fact that he's not over the top like Romeo is. And I think that's something that was necessary. Like find those relationships always work better if the one that's over the top has somebody that brings them back down and can keep them a little bit more grounded. While Romeo also brings out the like more excited side of Reggie as well, because Reggie's just like had that very consistent standard home life and is now wanting to break away, and he sees that in Romeo. And so I enjoy watching their dynamic a lot, and I'm interested to see if as they're like are together more, that if Reggie influences Romeo as much as Romeo's influenced Reggie. So that's something that I look forward to seeing develop more.
Yeah, I like the moments when you see Romeo affecting Reggie in like a really positive way musically, like when they were out playing music for money. He was just like, man, they're not like, people aren't listening anyway. Like, just play your music. You want it to be free, so play what you want to play. And I like that. I like that the whole theme of the manga is like freedom, like being yourself, and people who just love rock and roll and find freedom in rock and roll. And I think that theme gets brought up a lot in so many different ways. Like Rio was like a really good, like different way of showing freedom, like all of the characters have different ways it affects them.
Yeah, it's very like Rand's freedom is, they all start with R.
Oh, they do. I actually never realized that.
Aw, they're meant to be. Yeah, and Ron's is like different too. Like his is he wants to break free from that pact that he made with this absolutely horrible person. Evil's villain is more apt description. But his is like breaking away from that, and so they're all breaking away from very different things. But yeah, that's still definitely the overarching, and they don't like shove it in your face a lot either. They do when they're like doing band stuff where they're like, you can be free if you join the band. But then they still like interpret it into the characters and their decisions much more subtly when they're not talking about that, which is very good way to do it.
Yeah.
Speaking of like joining the band and that dream, Romeo initially rejecting Reggie's proposal to share his dream with him, I thought said a lot about his character, in that he wanted to find his own dream for himself. And ultimately, I think it reaffirmed the connection that he had with Reggie when he found out that he should be able to share that dream and make it his own.
Yeah,
that's a really good point, because that established that Romeo, when he commits, he's doing it because he wants to, not because he's just like a flippant character. Like if he had accepted it right away, he would have just been like, oh, sure, okay, but you wouldn't have felt at all like he was genuine in his acceptance of it. Whereas now, the fact that he turned it down at the start and then decided to do it once he was in front of the crowd, makes it obvious that he's a character that when he realizes he wants to do it, that's when he's gonna do it.
Yeah. He's very like selfishly chaotic. It's like, I don't care about the law. I don't care about police. I don't care about people who aren't like in my pack, so to speak. Which I think, is why there are so many moments where he like throws a coin so hard that it breaks a police car windshield. And we're like, Romeo, no!
I know, we're like, what are you doing?
Oh, and I love how he has his blatant disregard for like property law. Like, all right, let's steal some motorcycles. It's fine. They don't need them.
Yeah, and then like they're just like, oh hey, this car's free now.
Yeah.
And Rio kind of goes along with it as well. Like she's just totally cool with it.
Oh my gosh, I loved that reveal too.
Yeah.
About like it's a dude. Wait, what? I thought that was really interesting. I thought that they handled that really great too. They didn't seem like they made it him. He's not a caricature at all.
Yeah,
I don't think. The whole S&M stuff caught me off guard.
It's like
That
a
shit
weird
was
little
great.
extra thing. That's kind of hilarious.
Because that was one of those things that you go, oh, I know that this exists, but I never expect it in. Because I think there was a part of me that still saw it as much more of like a shonen teenage manga as opposed to like a little bit more adult. And so when they actually showed scenes in like the S&M club of the one dude just being like, hit me harder, I was like, wait, what?
What am I reading right now?
What? And it just kept getting more and more like, and then when the owner had to like wear the super strappy outfit that was basically just string, and she was just like, I think it's okay because the more embarrassed I get, I know that he jerks off to it more. And I'm like, wow. Just things
okay.
like things
Whatever's
like
gonna fix Rand's arm, I guess.
I know. I was like, whatever works. You know, whatever.
Just got to take one for the band, man.
Take one for the band. Take one for the band. I love that they were just like, oh, don't worry. There's a doctor that can fix him. It's like, it's acid, but it's fine.
It's fine. They took some of your butt skin. You're good. It's like, okay, great. I love with Ran. I love that Ran was sort of before we actually met him. They presented him to us as like kind of an evil dude. They were like, he's part of this band that's super evil. And then you meet him and he's just like, well, I was super into the violence at first, but now I just love music. I'm like, oh, Ran.
It's like, oh, you're actually really sweet.
But I like that he admits that, you know, at first the whole idea of having people take a drug and playing music and making them like go kind of crazy was appealing to him. Like there is that weird side of him. And then his love for music overpowered it.
Yeah.
So he's very different from Reiji because Reiji just loves music, right? Whereas Ran was in it for something totally different at first and now loves music.
Yeah, it's nice that all the characters are so different from each other and have different motivations for loving music and wanting to be in the band. It's not just the same thing for all of them. Like they're all motivated by different things. Which makes it fascinating to like learn about and watch unfold. The whole acid thing was another thing. Like I said, I didn't know what I expected from the manga, but there was just stuff that got thrown at me and I was like, oh wow, didn't know this was gonna happen.
I didn't know we were gonna burn people's faces off with acid.
Like satanic metal shows where people are murdering and
like,
doing
wow,
unspeakable things to each other.
They are going real hard.
Oh, lots of trigger warnings if you have issues with like violence and rape.
Not much is shown, but they discuss a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
especially, I don't know, something with Rio that I thought like, to go back to her, that they were very, like, they didn't make it a gag, really. Like, there was times where they joked about it, but she wasn't the butt of the jokes, if that makes sense. Like, it was handled pretty tastefully, and even later on, she was like, okay, well, this makes me mad. And, like, totally, like, kicked ass out of nowhere. Like, it broke out of her.
I like that even though poor Rio gets, like, kidnapped and stuff a lot in this section. Like, there are a lot of moments as well where she's the first person to be like, no, we need to do something. And, like, is very active and strong, just like on her own, you know?
Yeah, she's like it's very different personality. She's much more what's the word? She takes things in stride much more easier too than the other.
And we see that so early, like when they first realize that it's like a man.
Yeah.
And Romeo's like, "Do you have a dick?" And she's like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
Like totally cool. Just like, yeah, so what? Who cares?
Yeah, and they're like, oh, okay.
It cracks me up. I love moments like that. And I loved, like, also, I love the first time that you see her play drums too.
Yeah.
Because it's like the shoes come off, she's like in it, and it's like, yeah, I love it.
Yeah, she's such. We didn't get a ton of music, like actual music scenes. But the ones that we got were really fun and really neat. Like the whole scene when she plays the drums and then Reggie joins in and they play together with Romeo screaming was really good scene. Like I was like, this is really effective and I wish I could hear this. Like I actually want to listen to this.
No, this is one of those, in the past when we've read manga about music and everybody said like, oh, the anime is so much better because you can hear the music. Like I would love a Bremen anime so that I could hear the music.
I was gonna say something.
Question, Dodger.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you read all of Bremen?
Yes, I read all of Bremen.
Okay. Does it get a proper ending?
It has an ending. Yeah. It's wrapped up. It's not, it doesn't drop off.
Are people gonna die? Like, that we're attached to?
Aaron, I can't tell you any of that. That'd be a rotten bacon butt.
I know. I just can't handle death anymore.
The one, oh, I think it's reading this right after Berserk.
Also, I rewatched all of ReZero the other day, so.
Why? Aaron, stop.
Because I had to show David.
David?
Yeah, I showed David the first episode, and he was like, "Okay, next one." So I showed him the next episode, and then 12 hours later, he was caught up to episode 17.
The one thing that I will tell you that isn't really a spoiler is that Romeo will be explained in the story.
Oh, okay. Sweet.
Good.
Yeah, because that is something that you're just like, what, Romeo, what's...
They're not just like, he's just really strong, what's the problem? They do like actually explain what's going on with him.
That's good. Yeah, that was something, because he would do something, I'm like, why are you so strong? I don't understand. Is this fantasy too?
Yeah, like right at the beginning when he just like pulls his finger back
and flips
on a guy and it just knocks him out and you're like, what?
I kind of want to just try that on a person and see how badly it can hurt.
Cause like that's as far back as it goes, right? And then it's not like there's a lot of force to it.
It doesn't hurt. Like I could do it to myself and it doesn't hurt that bad, but maybe it's because I'm not trying. Because it's like this, right? Or, oh, I didn't even hit myself. It's hard to do it to yourself. I don't even know how you would do it.
You're just basically flicking off the audience. It's okay.
It doesn't like
like your finger.
It doesn't even go forward enough.
Yeah.
Welcome to MangaPod. We flick faces.
There. It still doesn't hurt. But I mean, it's.
Yeah.
I don't know where to go from that. He loves his coins a lot.
Yes.
That's something that I like to kind of establish early on. Wait, is that from this or something else?
No.
The coin where he doesn't get rid of his coin. Okay. For some reason, I was like, "Oh God, is that from another?"
I want a panel of him using the coin as a weapon and then going to pick them up because he's so poor.
He's so poor that he loves his coins. But that's something like one of the first pages of the entire manga is he's buying something and he sees this coin and he's like, oh, hey, a coin. And then that's his weapon of choice for the rest of the series.
For the rest of it, yeah.
Can you really slice through people with records, though? I guess if you have enough force. But you feel like they would break.
If you're strong like Romeo.
But I feel like they would break before they cause death. But I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know.
So
how to
my
murder.
big problem with that whole scene is that Reiji was also fine.
Yeah.
like
If Romeo's
Romeo
checking those.
he used a bunch of records and literally sliced people, like, to pass out or death, like an entire group of people, and Reiji's just like, yo, I'm fine too. I was like, what? These people were on super Satan drugs. Like they were ripping each other apart. They were biting off each other's ears and shit. How'd you live?
If Reiji is representing any shonen trope, he is the character who can get like a blast through the heart and they come up and say it hit it like missed every vital organ. He's fine.
You're so lucky.
That's who he is. Because he's gotten hit in the head so many times with metal pipes and he doesn't have any hair to like fluff and block it. Like it's skull. Like he just gets smacked there and bleeds everywhere.
True.
And
he's
then
basically Sokka from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yes, yeah.
He's also dating the moon. Spoilers.
Wow.
Anybody who hasn't seen Avatar: The Last Airbender. I know. I'm sorry. I'm the worst. I'm sorry.
Rotten bacon budding over here. Just because it's your birthday pod doesn't mean you get to go free reign and crazy. What's
No free passes.
What's the word? There's a word. I'm trying to think of the word. That means like...
We need a description of the word.
Yes,
Come on.
Yes, what word?
Let's
what word are we
charade this
working
one
on
out.
as a group?
It means like you're out and you're like causing all sorts of chaos and neganess.
A hooligan?
Hooligan? No! There's like
Causing shenanigans?
It's like a... You know what? It's fine.
Finagling?
Never mind. It was like when people think of Team Valor, like that kind of like description where they're like Team Valor is like the punks.
Uh-huh.
And there's like
Are you calling Dodger a punk?
Hey, I'm a Team Valor.
Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Wait. I was trying to quickly spin around and be like,
Oh!
Yeah, right there.
Wait, are you Team Valor too?
I was lying to myself. Okay, hi everybody.
Wait, are we all Team Red?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
do. Red or dead.
Yay, I am. I'm the most fitting person that belongs in that group ever. What was your guys' favorite moment from what we read?
Out of what we read, favorite moment.
Oh, I like when Romeo was going up to the car when that was happening to Rio.
Yeah.
And he's just like, nah, I was just gonna warn them. Like he wasn't gonna actually try and actively save her.
Oh yeah.
That's such a lie. He's such a bitch.
He's a little bitch.
But then again, I also totally believe it because that totally falls in line with his personality.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a really cool action scene. Like that beat up. Like there was a
with
lot of beating
the
up.
coin and the knife and stuff.
Yeah, there was a lot of beating up that happened in this Manga. But I thought that was one of the better choreographed scenes.
Mm-hmm.
That felt a lot different. Because we had there was a lot of thugs fighting each other.
True.
I wonder if the guy, when they played in Tokyo, I'm really hoping that or not in Tokyo, like as they were on their way to Tokyo, I'm really hoping that the street vendor guy, he comes back.
Takoyaki guy?
Yeah, I hope that he comes back. And I'm interested to see what the thug they fought there does. Because he's still alive, right?
Yeah.
He didn't died.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because they fought him, and then once they got away, it was him just standing there with Romeo's name written on his back.
He had the autograph
being
on
like,
his back.
My dreams have been too small. That was a really good moment.
Did the guy who was the villain of the last arc, did he die or did he just burn his tongue off?
He burned his mouth, yeah.
Okay.
He burned the tattoo off of his tongue, which probably means he can't talk anymore. I would
Yeah.
assume.
Yeah,
I would
he went
assume.
full Two-Face.
Okay. I mean, there's...
Except for this way instead of this.
It's-
Yeah.
It's gross.
Yeah, I was like, dude, why would you make this deal being like, we'll burn it off with acid if we betray one another, and then put it on your mouth?
Yeah! He's just hard. He is rock and roll.
He's rock and roll. He's rock and roll. You're right.
Is that the rock and roll symbol? Is it that?
So the horns. Put your horns up, everybody.
The little...
Yes, like this. Yes, like this. This is the right way.
They're wolves.
Yeah.
I'm the hardest of us all. Should we talk about art?
Sure.
What are you guys' feels on it?
It does feel older now. But I still like it. It's funny, sometimes people's mouths are like almost overly drawn. I don't know how to put it. You know?
Yeah. They feel
Sometimes
real
people's
big.
lips are like super on display, and other times they're not at all.
Yeah. That's something, it felt, I don't know, there's been times where we've read older series, and I thought that the art was really messy, or really dated. This, I think it was mostly dated because of the style that it was, but I still think it was much cleaner than other series I'd seen from the time period.
Yeah.
When did it come out?
99.
90s, yeah.
So yeah, it definitely felt like it had that age and the style from that age down really well. And it did something that I liked, that it like did some of the oh, here we made a funny trope faces, but it wasn't overly reliant on like sweat drops and falling over and doing the little feet in the air thing.
Yeah.
Like it relied much more on the facial expressions, which I think probably for the time was one of the first ones to do that, because it was just kind of starting to fade into series relying more on facial expressions for humor instead of like whole body like drops and stuff.
And we didn't really get to see like a ton of this, but I really like that the sort of like goof faces that they make have slowly turned into their animal faces.
Yeah.
And like the way that they establish like what animal each person is, and like the folk story of Bremen. For the rest of the manga, their like goof faces are gonna be like those animals, and it's hilarious.
Oh,
Yeah.
Speaking of, I like how Ran was all like sensitive and like messed up because he's a donkey.
Yeah, like you get to be the donkey, Ran, and he's like, what the fuck?
He's like, why? I love that Regi's was established pretty early on, and that his was like the chicken.
Yeah, he's the
because of his
rooster.
mohawk.
Because of his
His little mohawk. That was something, the character designs were really great.
Yeah.
Especially Rio's. Like, hers was awesome. And then both when, I don't know, because with her wig on and with her wig off, still looks awesome. Like, looks really cool. And then I thought all of the characters were so different from one another that it made it really easy to differentiate. And I think that's going to really help later on when we have the big band scenes and there's a lot more action and stuff going on. And it helps with the action sequences too, because you can figure out, who's fighting this dude and who's fighting this one. Is that Reggie or is that Romeo? And you can tell right away because of Reggie's hair.
Yeah.
And like they all seem to have their own personal style too. Rand just doesn't wear shirts. That's his thing.
Yeah. He's just shirtless all the time.
Because he's rock and roll.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that his character, Reggie's character turns into the rooster. Mm-hmm. And there was one, I actually screenshotted it, because it made me I was so thrown off by it, but so happy. This is my favorite moment in the entire manga.
I'm ready. Oh. It's pretty good, right?
Yep.
It's this chapter cover for chapter 10.
Hey, hello, hi.
There, it's focused. Let's just make sure everyone gets a good look at this.
Yep. Love it.
Yep.
That specific panel where I was originally reading this manga, it kept glitching out and sending me back to that page over and over and over again. And I was like, God damn it. So yes, I also appreciate that panel quite a lot.
Yeah, that panel says everything you need to know about the art.
Yeah.
I feel like I have nothing to add.
Yeah. There it is. So good.
It's all there.
Great.
So good. Is there anything else you guys want to touch on that I haven't talked about yet?
I guess the little bit of how they introduced Reiji and the whole thing with his father at the very beginning.
Yeah.
I think that little bit of just resolving what is the conflict of his past does a lot in terms of like propelling his character forward into pursuing his dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like I don't think for someone who lived a relatively normal life like Reiji did, to see them take a step like that without having their family show concern, I don't think that would have been as believable.
Yeah.
Without that bit of resolution in terms of his father eventually stepping in and saying, "No, he's a man now. He'll be fine."
Yeah. And it's nice to have a little bit of resolution on that too, so we can focus on the present instead of what's holding Reggie back. And I think that's what they did for him too, because that way he doesn't have to constantly think, oh, about my parents and have all this angst about that, whereas he can focus on making his band and living his dream. And like he'll eventually go back to them. Like there's gonna be a time where he, like, I'm sure in the manga we'll see his parents again. But it's nice to have resolution on that conflict, because I think there's more important things for the characters to focus on than that. Not that family drama isn't important.
Don't worry, we'll get more.
Oh, good. Perfect.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree, Lou, with what you were saying. That's nice that he can just, like, he does have his dad being like, nah, he's good. He's good.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I don't think that I have anything else that I'd like to bring up. I'm trying to think.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, there's not a lot of deeper meanings to a lot of what we read.
Yeah.
It's very much like, here's what you see, what you get, but it's so entertaining that it's not a series that needs to have a bunch of like deeper meanings and mysteries and stuff. It's about, which is exactly what Romeo is. It's like, here, this is what you see is what you got. Let's be entertaining and fun and do it. And that's exactly what the whole manga's atmosphere is.
Yeah.
So we can wrap up and give our final thoughts and ratings.
Cool. Let's do it.
I'm trying to think about the rating. It's always the hard part. Figuring out how to read it. I always get it stuck in my head that I'm like, well, I rated this one this, so I shouldn't rate it the same thing. But then it's like they're completely different genres, so it's not like you can really compare one 8 to another 8 unless you're looking at it's a big thing. I think, man, I want to give it an 8. That's what my heart feels. And that's what I'm going to do.
What your heart tells you.
That's what I'm doing. I'm going to do it. My heart says 8. Because it was insanely entertaining and it was so fun. And a lot of the gripes that I have with it, I think, are going to get fixed later on. Like with Romeo's power just being whatever it is. But even that was still... The character was so endearing that it made me forget about the fact that he was stupidly strong with no explainable reason. And so the characters are really fun. It's just silly and ridiculous, but it doesn't take itself seriously. And so it knows what it is, and it's presenting that really well, and it's doing it awesomely. And I love the characters. I love their interactions and their relationships, and I just want to see more. I want to see what this little ragtag group of rock and rollers does. It makes me like I'm so endeared and attached to them, and we've only read 24 chapters. And I think the art was solid. Like, it's definitely a little dated, but not bad. It fits the story too. The character designs are awesome. The humor is solid. I thought that it was a really great series to read, and like a very unexpectedly enjoyable series too. I didn't know what to expect, and I came out loving it. So I think an 8 is what I'm gonna give it.
Do you want to go first, Audrey?
Sure. I'm gonna give it an 8 as well.
Yeah.
I love Bremen. It just gets weirder from here.
Oh, good.
So for any of you who are like, I think I'm gonna read this, if you happen to like read through it all in one go, I would love it if you tweeted at me with just like a GIF that really represents your feelings at the end. Yeah, thank you all for reading it for my birthday pod. I appreciate it, and I'm so glad that y'all liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lou, what you feel?
I feel also an 8. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, based on, like, if I was to remove enjoyment from the equation, it'd probably drop down to a 7. But I just had so much fun because of how quirky the characters were, and just like how little of a fuck it gave about reality.
Yeah.
Like it just pushed and pushed, and it did so many, I want to say, interesting and different things within the context of the genre of music that I've never seen before. And I think it deserves some credit for that. So I think a solid 8 is a fair score. You're saying that it's going to get more ridiculous. So that score is probably going to go up, and I'm 100% okay with that. Because that's my favorite part of it, is just how absurd the manga really is.
Yeah.
Exactly. Sweet.
Awesome.
Thanks, Sandra, for recommending this one. I love it. We need to read more. We need to read more like low-key underrated gems like this. I feel like we don't read that many.
Yeah.
All right, sweet. That wraps up our discussion on Bremen, volumes 1 through 3, chapters 1 through 24. I am going to now read the description for the manga that we are reading next week.
The
Manza.
Yes, go on.
And y'all get to guess it in the chat. So, give me 1 second.
It's a really obscure one, guys.
Yeah. You guys never recommend that we read this. Ever. All right. Blank centers around a boy called Blank, who has spent his life trapped beneath a mysterious blank. Shaped thing after his only friend, he manages to open a door into the blank, and now must face challenges at each blank of this blank as he tries to find his companion. Anybody? I had to bleep all those, otherwise you would get that.
It's
quickly.
true. It's true.
It is not Shakespeare.
Patty got it.
Where?
How to
What?
make the
Where?
Tower of
God, Tower of God. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So many Tower of Gods. We are finally reading it. We're not canceling it. We're not moving it. We're doing it. If I'm here by myself next week to discuss it, we're going to discuss this thing.
It's happening. It's happening.
Oh my gosh. I have reread, like, I think all of us have read the section that we are going to be discussing next week, like 2 or 3 times. And so it's like, we got this. We can do it. We are reading chapters 132 through 190 is what we are reading of Tower of God next week, and I'm so excited because I do really love that manhwa. Let's go ahead and shout out our stuff super fast. I'm Erin of Happily Erin. My YouTube channel is Happily Erin. I do anime related content, anime quizzes. All the previous MangaPods are hosted there. My summer season preview reaction video is going to be going up hopefully this weekend or next weekend. And then also just some other fun stuff just gonna happen. I posted a video of my baby dancing, so you should definitely go and check it out because it's really kawaii and stuff. You should go look at it. It makes me happy. If you want to find me on any other social media, I'm Happily Erin all across the everything.
Hi everybody. You might be watching this on my Twitch channel. It's twitch.tv/dexterity-bonus, but you can also find me on youtube.com/pressheart-to-continue. And on all the social medias, I'm at DexBonus, DEXBONUS. I do gaming and anime stuff, so come check me out if you want to.
And I'm Lou from Lou Talks Anime. You can find me at youtube.com/Lou Talks Anime now, where I occasionally do anime-related content. I also do an anime podcast called the Anime Association, so you can find that at youtube.com/Anime Association or the Anime Association. I'm a really bad podcaster. It's okay. but I am active on Twitter, and you can definitely go talk to me there. That's Lou Talks Anime, and we can chat about stuff. And basically all of their social media is Lou Talks Anime. So come find me.
Yeah. And if you would like to check out our third host, he is Yokurama Russian. You should definitely go and check him out on YouTube. He also has another channel called Yokurama Game Talk, where he doesn't talk about video games, he talks about anime. Yeah, it's definitely smaller. Yokurama Russian is by and far the best representation of who he is as a person in his content. And you should go and tweet at him on Twitter at, is it Yokurama Talks? Crap.
I think so. On Twitter?
I just remember him as Yokurapika. Is what I remember him as. Yokurama Talks. That's what it is.
That lasted for so long.
Yokurapika. Wasn't he something else before that? What was he before Yokurapika? He was something else. I don't remember. Right now his picture is Yami from Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't know if he's rewatching Yu-Gi-Oh! Or what's going on. But you should go tweet at him that we love him. And he is our... Who would he be out of... We should have signed ourselves the characters. Who are we out of the band?
Oh, dang.
Each of us. Who would Yoku be? Is Yoku our Reggie because he plays...
Because he actually plays music?
Because he actually plays music?
That would mean Dodger would have to be Romeo because you actually sing.
That's true. You're Romeo. I can be... I can be Rio. I'll be Rio. I'm Rio.
Okay.
I work at an S&M
totally
club.
I'm totally Ren. I'm very metal.
Yeah, you're very metal. I work at an S&M club, so it's perfect.
You're super genki, like Rio is.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I am. Not the S&M. Forget I said that.
Not the S&M part. What? Huh? What S&M part?
What?
We're watching MangaPod, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. You're so great. Yay, yay. We'll be here same time, same place next week, 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on twitch.tv/dexterity bonus, as well as youtube.com/happily and discussing Tower of God chapters 1 through 32. Wait. 132 through 190. All right. Thanks, guys. See you.
Bye,
Bye.
Bye.
Poop.